WGRC's Around the Valley with Dave and Stephanie is sponsored by Zook Septic Services, serving central Pennsylvania. Contact them for inspections, repairs, and system maintenance needs at 570-837-1466 or at zookseptic.com. We're excited to be here today. I love the tomato sauce out here. Is it full? Like, can we go climb in it and taste it?
That would be nice, wouldn't it? Like a dunk tank.
Oh, yeah.
Tomato sauce.
Well, we know that Furmano's is celebrating 100 years, a family-owned business, I believe 4th generation, and you local produce, you hire local employees, and I see you've got a little bit of appears to be a historical display here. Why don't you give us a little information about the company?
In 1921, 100 years ago, J.W. and Emma Furman and their 6 kids had gone to market, and they had more tomatoes than people wanted to buy. They had a bumper crop of tomatoes. And so the merchant challenged them and said, hey, you know, we don't need it right now, but how about if you bring it back in the winter? Well, they took that challenge and they went home and they canned 360 mason jars of tomatoes, and so began Furmano Foods. With $300 and a horse, they were able to take those canned tomatoes back to market in the winter, and so began.
It's not a secret, founded on biblical principles. That's part of your mission statement. And I can't help but notice that under the picture of the founding couple, there is a Bible. How are Christian principles, how are they played out? How do they play out here in Furmano's?
Values are what guides us actually in everything that we do, in the choices that we make, in how we treat each other and our employees, and how we treat the people in our community.
And that's something that started in 1921, and we continue to do it in 2021.
So we're standing here near the employee entrance, and this is something that the employees get to see every day they come in. Talk to us a bit about this.
So this was our founder, J.W. Furman's favorite verse. And unless the Lord builds the house, the builders labor in vain. Just some of the values that this business is built on was integrity, Christian faith, and we believe in being stewards, right? So being stewards of the land, stewards of all we've been given, and then we also were called to lead, or to serve and to lead. And so we want to serve and lead our customers, our employees, and our community. So that's really what this company is built on from the very start. We're going to go on a tour and see how our tomatoes make it from the field to the can to your household kitchen table.
Not gonna lie, it looks like a fun process. I sort of wish I was a tomato so I could ride.
You'd be Dave the tomato, not Bob the tomato.
I would.
Yeah.
I would be.
Yeah.
You know, you're talking about looking for growth and new product. Any potential to use the plant here and all the machinery for a whoopie pie plant?
You never know. You never know. Right now, no, but you never know.
Never know.
Right? Hey, I mean, you guys are always looking to develop new things.
That's
You've got
right.
these ancient grains, which are very healthy.
They are.
I'm sure they can get incorporated into the middle of a whoopie pie in the cream.
We've made ancient grain sushi, so you know.
Why not?
Sure, why
All
not?
right.
You never know.
Well, Stephanie and I are standing outside Furmano's here with Dan, the Vice President of Ag Operations. Dan, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for giving us this part of the tour. Now, we are sort of in the middle of the process. There are some steps that have happened. We see tomatoes behind us. What's happened to get us to this point? Why don't you talk us up to here?
Sure. So in the fall we order the tomato seed, and it gets sent to greenhouses in the early spring. They grow the seeds into little seedlings, and then we transplant them out in the field. And we budget typically 51,000 tons of tomatoes a year. About 29,000 tons would come from the local area, which would be from the Isle of Q and Selinsgrove up to Danville, Montgomery, Muncie area, Jersey Shore, Lock Haven, and across to State College. And then we have about 15,000 tons that come from Chambersburg, Lancaster area. When you do the math, it's about 86% of our tomatoes come from Pennsylvania. Our green beans, about 50% of our green beans are grown in Pennsylvania. All of our cans are sourced from a Pennsylvania supplier. All the pouches that we use in the pouch process are sourced from a Pennsylvania supplier, and all our corrugate comes from a Pennsylvania supplier. So, you know, we're really tied to the grower community here, and also there's a significant impact just outside of Furman's in the state of Pennsylvania with all that we're purchasing and bringing in. The other thing is we've been talking about tomatoes and focusing on tomatoes. Many people don't know we have a very robust dry bean business. Dry beans would be like kidney beans, pork and beans, things like that. We are the largest supplier of food service size, that's 110-ounce cans in the United States of dry beans. And we are delivered all the way across the country. If you eat in a chain restaurant, you've probably eaten our beans. If you've eaten in a mom and pop restaurant, you've probably eaten our beans. If you've eaten at a hospital, you may have eaten our beans. If you go to prison, you might eat our beans. Okay? So our beans are all over the place. Hopefully you don't get that last one.
I plead the fifth.
So these tomatoes get planted, and then tomato season officially starts for the harvesting in September?
It starts
August?
about the 15th of August.
August, okay.
Yes, tomato season goes from about the 12th or 15th of August to about the 15th of October, weather permitting. Now our tomatoes are bred for processing, so they're more resilient. It's got a thicker body wall than a sandwich tomato does. Okay, so it handles the process well. So we harvest them mechanically in the field and drop them into the trailers. Then we flume them out with water here. They get washed off and then go into the plant and get processed in the plant.
So we're seeing out here, we're seeing the water fluming them, as you said, and you've got the guys that are making sure they're going through the machines properly, and then it looks like they're going into the ground.
Yeah, there's a tunnel underneath there, and then it goes to an elevator, and then you'll see later today our electronic color sorter is just amazing. It's an amazing piece of technology. We can run 60 tons of tomatoes per hour across that, and it has 2 cameras, and the tomatoes are sped across the conveyor, and as they're flying through the air, the top camera and the bottom camera take a picture of each individual tomato, and they reconcile how much of it is red, if it's the wrong color, if there's black spots, and then little fingers that look like piano keys knock out the less than visually perfect tomatoes. And so that's going at 3 loads an hour going across that color sorter. It is just amazing how that technology works. And so it goes through the color sorter, and then it goes through a lye peeler, and then after it goes through the peeler, there's a knife that slits a little bit of the skin, and it goes through what's called a rubber cord scrubber, which is basically a big drum with rubber bands, and the tomatoes get pulled around just like you would see in a dryer, okay, but the rubber pulls the skins off the tomatoes. Okay, once the skin is off, it goes through a tag remover, which is just another thing to pinch the skins off. Then it goes through another color sorter, and then it goes into the plant. There's a human sort, and then it gets sliced, diced, or left as whole tomatoes and goes into the can. Anything that's rejected at the color sorter goes over to the crush line, and then gets used on the crush line. So all the tomatoes that come in do get used.
Who would have thought all of this just so I could have some tomato sauce on my pizza?
It's time to gear up. Ready, set, go.
Well, Dan, we've just completed our tour in production with Mike. I had no clue that when I get a plate of spaghetti, that much effort went into allow me to get that plate, and it's amazing to think it's all right here in central Pennsylvania.
Yeah, and one thing that is really important to a lot of people is that their food is as natural as possible. And we've learned today that the word preservative, basically, it doesn't exist here.
Yes.
Like, that is not a thing when it comes to any of the products that you guys put out.
We're really happy to have you here. Thank you very much.
So we just want to give a huge shout out to the lovely ladies who are helping us out with our tour.
Angela and Yvonne, come join
on.
us.
So when you guys come and get a chance to come and pick up product here at the facility, which is a possibility, you can call in and order it, you might see one of these lovely faces along with all the other friendly people that we met here at Furmano's.
It's been a lot of fun hanging out here. Furmano's, the family, they enjoy supporting the local community, the local business, local employees. You can support them as well by purchasing Furmano products. We've had a blast.
Yeah.
We love learning about unique hobbies, crafts, occupations, getting a behind-the-scenes look. And so, Stephanie, we might just meet somewhere else
Around the valley.